Hey guys, Peach here, and today I'm showing you the 2004 Pichu Unlimited Cup Series roster. Here are the drivers that'll be driving in 2004. First off, we have Steve Park in the number one for DEI. I imagine what if Steve Park never had those injuries that derailed his career. So Steve Park stays in the one car in 2004. Let's see how this one is going to go down. Rusty Wallace stays in the number two car. Dale Earnhardt returns for another season because, as I mentioned before, Dale Earnhardt never had that fatal crash in 2001's Daytona 500, so he's still running another season 2004 in the number three. Then we have Terry Labonte returning in the number five car. Mark Martin returns in the number six car. Alan Kulwicki returns in the seven car, and I know this car I've been using this for since 2001, but I couldn't find another version that would fit the 2004 aesthetics or anything like that, so I'm going to reuse the 7 car until we have to change it. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in the 8 car. Casey Elliott moves over to the 9 car. He was running in the 19 car, but now Casey Elliott joins the 9 team for Everham, just like when Bill Elliott drove the 9, Casey Elliott gets to drive the 9 because the 9 is synonymous with the Elliott family. So Casey finally gets to ride the 9 car in Everham. So that's pretty neat. Sterling Marlin moves over to the 01 car. He's really in the 40, but I'll explain who's in the 40 in a little bit. Johnny Benson decided to go into the Truck Series, so now the 10 car is going to be driven by Scott Riggs. Scott Riggs, the rookie, will make his debut in 2004 in the 10 car. And Rob Moroso in the 11, he will not be competing in every race this season. He ran the 0 car last season, but they've decided the 0 car will only be run in a part-time schedule, so the 11 car will be he'll be joining the Joe Gibbs team driving the 11, and he will also not compete in every race, but Rob Moroso is back in a part-time role, well, mostly full-time, I would say, but not all full-time. I would say it's mostly most of the races on the schedule he'll be running, and he'll be running the 11 car for Joe Gibbs in 2004. Number 12 car, Ryan Newman, moves over to the number 12, and I'll tell you where Tim Richmond goes in a little bit. Michael Waltrip stays in the 15, like in real life. Same for Greg Biffle in the 16, Matt Kenseth in the 17, Bobby Labonte in the 18. Casey Kane, the rookie, joins the Everham team in the 19 car after having a successful Busch Series run. He moves over to the Cup Series in 2004 like normal. Like he did in real life. Casey Kane joins the Cup Series in 2004. So Casey Kane is in the 19 car for Everham instead of the 9 because Casey Elliott's driving the 9 in 2004's PLCS season. All of this is fictional, just so you know, so some of the drivers are not where they're supposed to be in real life, but it's just fun series we like to do. We like to do a mock series of all these drivers. Tony Stewart stays in the number 20 car. Elliott Sadler stays for another year at the Wood Brothers team in the number 21. Ricky Rudd Ricky Rudd is still running with his own team, and he has a new number and sponsor, and I'll tell you more about them in a little bit. Scott Wimmer joins the Bill Davis Racing crew in the number 22. Ward Byrne has decided to retire. I would say Ward Byrne retires after 2003, and Scott Wimmer takes the spot on the 22 for Bill Davis. Jeff Gordon stays in number 24. You know him. And Jerry Nadeau moves over to the 25 car. A long time he was in the 32, but Nickelodeon chose not to return for another season in the 32, and needing sponsorship, they released Jerry Nadeau. Hendrick Motorsports saw potential in him, though, so Jerry Nadeau gets signed to Hendrick to drive the 25 car. Davey Allison's back in the number 28 car, and the old Texaco design is back for this season after having 1 year with the yellow design. The yellow design, mostly a yellow design for the 28. Davey Allison returns the red old Texaco design back for 2004. Kevin Harvick moves into the 30 car. He runs the 30 car full time as there is no 29 since Dale Earnhardt is still alive. Robbie Gordon stays in the 31 car. And Ricky Craven stays in the 32. No, Ricky Craven moves to the 32 car like in real life. as Craven now has tied a sponsor in the 32 PPM Motorsports Chevrolet. Ernie Irvan stays for another year in the 38 car for Robert Yates Racing. The 21, Elliott Sadler rides the 21 in this universe instead of the 38. Kenny Irwin Jr. rides the 40 car. He signs another one-year extension with Chip Ganassi, returns to the 40 car for Coors Light. Casey Mears goes in the 41 car. He runs another season with Chip Ganassi. And Chip Ganassi has the 42 car with Jamie McMurray. I know this would have two Texaco Havoline cars in the field with two different teams, but, well, this was the only fitting scheme I could find for Davey Allison in 2004. And let's just say Jamie McMurray had another sponsor. Probably Havoline only, not the Texaco, but you get the point. McMurray's in the 42 either way. And guess who's in the 43? Bobby Hamilton Jr. goes into the 43 car as he joins the Cup Series in 2004. I have Bobby in the 43 instead of replacing Ricky Craven in the mid-season, the 32, like in 2004. But Bobby Hamilton will run the full schedule in 2004 with the 43 car. The same car that his father drove in the 90s, so I thought it would be special for him to drive the 43 for the same team that his dad drove. So Bobby Hamilton Jr. full season the 43. And our defending champion Adam Petty, he is the star that everybody thought he would be, and he is going to be returning the 45 car, hoping to defend his title. Jimmy Johnson stays in the 48 car. Tim Richmond goes to a part-time schedule. Tim Richmond was released from Penske, and he has decided to go to a part-time schedule now with BAM Racing in the 49 car. Ken Schrader decides to go back to the Truck Series, and maybe the Busch Series as well. Brian Vickers joins the crew as a rookie in 2004. He rides the 55 car. By the way, was able to get it from one of Griff Dog's downloads. A big shout out to him for painting this car. I'll leave a link for you to download his car in the description below. This car is available, and the 25 car as well. They're both available. So you can download them with the link in the description below. Brendan Gaughan will drive the 77 car for the Penske team. The Penske has decided to renumber 02 into number 77. Well, actually, theoretically, they would renumber 02 to 12, and then they would move the old 12 into the 77. So that's how they were able to get the 77 car out for Penske. And Penske will have Brendan Gaughan drive that 77. And there's the new team I was talking about. Ricky Rudd runs with a new number and a new sponsor. Hunt's Ketchup will sponsor Ricky Rudd's full season. He'll be driving the 80 car for his team, and he's running his team on his own. Only him. He'll be running for his team. Dale Jarrett stays in the 88 car for UPS Robert Yates. Kurt Busch is in the 97 car. Jeremy Mayfield joins a third Everham ride, the 98 full-time ride with McDonald's to sponsor. Jeremy Mayfield will be returning to the 98, but with a new team, as Everham Motorsports acquired in this universe, Everham Motorsports acquired the old assets of Cale Yarborough Motorsports, ended up folding into their own team. So Everham will make a third entry full-time for Jeremy Mayfield in the number 98. So that's where he is going this season. And Jeff Burton in the 99 car. Might be his final year in Roush Racing. We'll have to wait and see in 2005, though, as he will be driving for Roush, though, in 2004 for the season. So before we wrap this up, you'll notice there's only 41 cars in the field this year. Well, the 42nd car is only going to be running on super speedways, and that is Kerry Earnhardt. Kerry Earnhardt will be driving the 33 in super speedway races for 2 Talladega races, 2 Coca-Cola races, and 2 Daytona races. So those are where he will be for the season for a 2004 season. And finally, we have the road course ringers and the 49 and Tim Richmond, Rob Moroso will not be riding in those road course races. That's why their schedule is part-time. Boris Said will drive the road course races in the number 0 car. Hans is going to be focusing only on the road courses this season in that 0 car. And also, let me see, there's 2 other drivers I want to mention that are also going to be in the road courses, Scott Pruitt will be driving the 23 car for Bill Davis Racing. He'll be driving the 23 on the road course events. And finally, one other car is Ron Fellows in the 4 car. Ron Fellows driving the 4 for Morgan McLaren Motorsports. They will also just focus on the road course events. So we have the road course ringers, Boris Said, Ron Fellows, and Scott Pruitt. They'll all be back to ride the road course races in 2004, and Kerry Earnhardt will be back to drive the super speedway races in 2004 as well. So those are all the drivers for the 2004 season. And before we wrap this up, I do want to let you know that we are going to be using the chase points to decide our champion. That means the chase does exist in 2004. It's going to use the format that they used for the season, which had 10 drivers, the 10 highest drivers in points, I believe, in the chase for the championship. So there will be a chase in 2004. That still happens. But we'll also measure the points with the old system. So we'll use the old system along with the chase system as well to show you where they would have stood in 2004 in the Pichu London Cup Series with either point standing. So we to keep things as fair as possible. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Anyway, hope you guys will stay tuned for the 2004 season video. I can't wait to make it. I can't wait to show it to you guys. This is Pichu London, and I'll see you guys later.